Alright guys, I'm going to do a short little video here on a tap set that I bought. This is a tap and die set from Vevor. It's 116 pieces. One of the reasons I bought this was because some of the sizes that it actually has. As you can see in here, it's got M8 1.0, it's got 7mm 1.0. It has a lot of oddball taps in here. And it also goes all the way up to 16mm. So there's definitely a lot of taps in here that could be used in an oddball situation, and that was the reason that I bought these. Wasn't specifically to replace my Hanson stuff, is what it is. I have a small set of Hanson sockets which are go up to, I believe, 1/2 inch, and I want to say 12mm in the metric. This just kind of expands my set. And I have a few cheap sets, and the reason why I buy them is because usually they either have a blind or bottoming tap in it, or they have the larger or the oddball sizes in them. I tend not to buy too many cheap ones because they have a tendency to break, and taps are a pain in the butt to get out because they're usually hardened steel. Not much will cut through them unless you got a good carbide bit. But this is the actual sheet that comes with it, and I list all the sizes, so if anybody wants to look into that and, see if this is something they're interested in, I'll provide that information right here on the screen. You can screenshot that. I don't see a particular part number for this set, but it is a 116 piece. It's the only 116 piece they have that matches this one. So we'll set this aside. I'll go ahead and open it up for you. It does have some metal clasp on there. I'm not so impressed with the case, but it's not like I'm going to be carrying this to job and doing a bunch of stuff. So inside here we have all our taps oriented. I believe it's standard across the top and metric across the bottom, or vice versa. You can see up here in this corner right here where I got my finger, these taps keep wanting to fall out. I had to put a piece of paper in there to kind of tighten up, keep those taps from falling out. Like I said, not so impressed with the case. Didn't buy it for the case. I bought it for all the oddball taps that it has in it. And if I get in a bind and I break a tap, I have an extra tap. I believe in having a second plan on anything that I do. I hate going to the guy, next bay and asking to borrow his tools or whatever, and end up breaking his and feeling guilty about it, and then have to replace his as well. But this is just kind of the way that I think, but some people don't think that way. Up here you have some thread identifiers. These are gauges. I have some extractors. I don't know that I would use these. I haven't had good luck with any of the Chinese ones. They tend to break off. So if you have something that's not really tight, I wouldn't be scared to use it, but I would not use these on a stuck bolt. Kind of nice that they come with them. Got a hand tap here with a spinner bar. We have a center punch here. So kind of nice little set. Comes with 2 pipe threads here, 2 of the 1/8 inch pipe threads here. And those are different on both of those. I believe one is a 16 and one is an 18 pitch, and I'm sure it's the same for the 1/8 inch as well. So sorry about wobbling around here. I don't have my stand with me right at the moment. And one other thing that I bought this set for is, if you can see, all these are 6-point like socket style taps. A lot of the import taps that you get, they're always round. I do have a set at the shop that has a lot of oddball taps in it, and they're round. I hate that. So when I seen this set, and I seen that they were all, I guess you call that octagon shape, or hex. So when I seen that they were, 6-sided, I jumped all over this. Because this will work with all my Hanson stuff as well, on most of this stuff. And like I said, I can put a socket on it, if I'm in a bind that the bar don't fit in it. It's nice to have an extra tap bar. You got a small one and a large one. Small and a large for some of these other taps as well. So, and like I said, there is a number of taps in here. Very large taps. So, very nice set for what it is. I did a little shopping before I bought this. I actually bought this for like $56 or $57 and some change. By the time it was shipped, it was a little over $60. I believe on eBay they range anywhere from like 61 or $66 all the way up to 115. I believe you can go to the Vevor page itself and you can actually sign up on there as well, and they'll give you a discount too. But I thought I'd share that with you guys. I think this is a really nice tap set. Like I said, I'm not trying to replace my Hansen ones or any of my Snap-on or my Matco ones, which are all made by Hansen. I just need a little bit larger variety for some of the oddball stuff that I need for crankshaft bolts and certain calipers that are 9mm by 1.0 pitch and things of that nature. So this is going to work out for me very well. It's not something that I'll use all the time. And like I said, it's not to replace the Hansen stuff. It's actually just to supplement it. So I figured I'd share that with you guys, and anybody that's looking to supplement any of their tap sets. I think this is a fairly, decent tap set. Like I said, you got 116 pieces here. And one thing I do like about these, they're stamped. So kind of nice to see that the number is actually stamped on here instead of actually trying to see laser etched, or a lot of times you get a little bit of surface rust on them. You can't see the laser etching on them. So I'm not a big fan of that. I do have some older Hansen stuff that actually still stamped, but some of the taps that I have replaced have came back with the laser etching on it, which I really hate. But I really like that these are stamped. I can't visually see them without glasses, but it's nice that they're stamped, so I can actually see that, and it's not going to wear off. And like I said, it's not going to become oxidized and invisible. So it's one thing I like about them. And I guess I can't really say much more about it. Like I said, I just share that with you guys. Anybody's looking to supplement their set, this is a very nice set to start with. If you look at some of my other videos, I do have a larger metric set that I purchased. It has a lot of oddball taps in it. It has a lot of bottoming taps in it that are, more or less square at the bottom, that tap all the way to the bottom of the threads instead of tapered like these guys here. They call them bottoming taps. So it's a perfectly square tap. So once you tap it, you go back in and use the bottoming tap to tap all the way to the bottom of it, so that the flutes on the bottom of this don't actually cut threads at the bottom. So you have a tap that's actually the same size from top to bottom. So I do have a set that I did a review on those. I paid probably about the same price for it, and it's been a lifesaver because it has a lot of oddball taps in it that just don't come with most Snap-on, Matco, name brand stuff. So like I said, I'm gonna get off here. Try to stop repeating myself, but like I said, great supplement set. Anybody wants to buy one, the information is here. Like I said, and you can go to the Vevor page. It's 116 pieces, or you can check eBay and you'll find it there as well. And you can also find this on Amazon. I'm sure there is another couple other affiliates that actually carry this product, but if you do a little research, you'll be able to find it. All right, guys, give me a like, share, subscribe, and we will talk to you later.